Well, as Sherilyn pointed out, I think an important piece of why those of us that believe in judicial diversity is that we are convinced and committed to this idea that you come up with better decisions when you have a diverse judiciary. What's the evidence on that? Well, first of all, let's look at kind of the fact piece of it, right? Every decision has to be made with a set of facts. Yet we know in our society, and I think it's pretty much accepted these days, except for some Republicans on the Senate Judiciary, that people from different backgrounds will look at a set of facts in a very different kind of way. We have kind of the public lesson just recently of the Gates encounter over Mr. Gates' viewed the facts in one kind of way, and the policeman viewed it in another set of way. Who is right? We don't know, but we know that their backgrounds and their racial backgrounds have a lot to do with how they view so differently those sets of facts. So the factual diversity is an important part of what goes on in the judicial process. This is kind of the Thurgood Marshall as a raconteur, him telling his colleagues, this is the way I see the fact. And it's this next piece of diversity, which I think is important, the piece where we go about problem solving. It's important to have diversity in a collegial setting where you have an exchange of ideas among equals, where you're doing it in a non-threatening, non-confrontational way, and where you have personal friendships established, as you might in a bench, in a circuit bench, or in a Supreme Court bench, where you're really listening to that other perspective. It's not a stranger who's telling you about that other perspective, but it's someone whom you trust. And the psychological literature tells us that it's those kinds of settings when we are more likely to lessen our defenses about our racial or gender perspective, really listen and be perhaps converted to that other way of listening. And again, the data here in terms of the study show that it's in that collegial setting, when there are panels, where there are exchanges, when you see the presence of minority judges or gender a difference really making a difference in outcomes. When you have women sitting on the bench alone, their behavior in terms of outcomes is really not that different from a male judge. Or when you have a minority judge, for the most part, and there's going to be an exception that I'm going to talk about, their behavior is not that different from a majority counterpart. But the only studies that have shown a difference in gender, really making a difference in outcomes, are in these collegial panel type settings.